Hi everyone, thank you very much for tuning in to the 4th episode of this series. As a recap, in the series I will be going over the basic DPS rotations for each class in PvE. These aren't intended to represent the absolute top DPS rotation possible for each class in most cases, but are generally here to represent basic DPS rotations that are capable of putting out close to optimal DPS. Today's profession, as you might be able to see, is the Guardian. Guardians are a staple of PvE play, and while they're prized for their defensive support, their DPS contribution, while not top tier, is still important. The difference between a Guardian who does a proper DPS rotation and one who doesn't is pretty vast and noticeable. For today's guide, we will assume a Greatsword plus sword-focused weapon set. Other main hands besides the sword can be used in their own niche situations, but the sword is the main fallback, so it's what I'll be discussing today. Let's get into the rotation. Alright, for the rotation itself, we'll start in Greatsword and begin with Binding Blades, assuming that we aren't saving it for any kind of CC. Binding Blades will inflict a small but important damage over time. We will follow that up with Whirling Wrath. Remember to always have Melee Assist option in your options menu turned off. This will allow you to move inside your target's hitbox and land more of the Whirling Wrath hits. Basically, Whirling Wrath is your money skill. It's one of the highest DPS skills in the game, assuming all the hits land. Basically, Whirling Wrath will be the mainstay of our rotation, and our entire rotation is built around landing Whirling Wrath the maximum amount of times we can. After we finish with Whirling Wrath, we're going to cast Symbol of Wrath, which when traded will inflict vulnerability with each pulse and do decent damage over time and grant our party retaliation. After this, we'll use Leap of Faith for a hard-hitting attack that will also inflict more vulnerability when properly traded. After Leap of Faith, we will auto-attack for a chain or two until Whirling Wrath is off of cooldown, and then we'll Whirling Wrath again. After the second Whirling Wrath, we're going to swap to our sword set and immediately cast Ray of Judgment and Shield of Wrath unless we know we need to save our Shield of Wrath for defense. After casting these two skills, we'll begin auto-attacking with the sword until our weapon swap cooldown is up, and then we'll return to the Greatsword set. All of our skills should be off cooldown except for Binding Blades, and we can restart the combo again with another Whirling Wrath. And that rotation is mostly repeatable. Skills like Binding Blades won't always be off cooldown every cycle, and Shield of Wrath definitely will not be off rotation every cycle. However, those two skills are situational, and many times you're not even going to want to use your Binding Blades because you might be saving it for CC, and you might be saving your Shield of Wrath for an emergency situation when you need blocks. But that is the general gist of the rotation, and what I'm going to do now is show you a brief demonstration of what it looks like in practice. Hold on just a moment. So that's the basic Guardian PvE DPS opening rotation. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and if you have any questions or if you have any Guardian DPS tips to share, please feel free to hit up the comments. I will see you guys next time with the Engineer. Thank you very much.